So guys, the last couple years have been a big boon for button lock knives. There's a lot of budget button lock knives out there these days, but there have not been a lot of big ones. So we're going to look at my two favorite big button lock budget folders. We're talking size-wise. This is the battle of the big budget button lock folders. Let's turn this around and take a look at it from above. You heard me right in the intro. We are going to do the battle of my two favorite big button locks. We're going to start with this one, the Kaiser Beg Letter XL button lock. Now, this is the XL version of a knife that I liked the mini a lot. I was okay with the regular size. I wasn't a big fan of either one of them. Then when I got the big one, the XL, I was like, okay, this is the size it was supposed to be. This one's done in 154 cm and brown or orange micarta, depends on what website you go to. It is done in a button lock. It is great. There's a decent flipper on this that's not over the top and large. In hand, this thing's amazing. So there's a lot of weight reduction done in this that gives it a good feel. It's got a nice balance forward on the edge. The button lock on this is really good. This is one of the best button locks in the price range. I do know there's a lot of other companies out there that do button locks. A lot of times they're more expensive. This one is as good, on par with some of the more expensive ones. We're talking like ProTech expensive, the way the button lock feels on this and the action. The flipper on it is just perfect for flipping. And the fact that you can do the button lock, you know, just flip it and fidget with it like that. But it also has got a set of really good, really functional thumb studs that, yes, you can reverse flick on. The fact that it's a button lock means it is completely ambidextrous, and it does have a reversible pocket clip. The feel on this when you're cutting is great. The ergos on this are just about perfect. Nice, big, thick handles that fill your hand well. And then just the overall shape of it is great. The problem I had with the smaller versions of the Beg Letter were they just didn't feel right in my hand. The mini was good, but the regular one just didn't feel right. It was not a full grip. I've got a full 4-finger grip on this, not a 3.5, not 3. The way it positions in your hand is great. Blade shape on this 154 cm blade is great. It's a nice drop point. It's got a lot of flat and a decent amount of belly. It looks really good with this swedge, and then it's ground nicely behind the edge thickness. It comes down, it gradually transitions down to the edge, and it's not too thick behind the edge. It cuts really well. 154 cm is a very good steel. It takes a really good edge. I've got this at about 800 grit. Responds really well to a strop. You can sharpen it pretty easily because it's got a decent, adequate sharpening notch, and then it's got some decent jimping here on the spine. So all in all, this knife has got it a lot where it counts. But the thing is, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a lot of fun to carry. This was one of the best Christmas gifts I got last year. And then you've got a nice deep carry pocket clip that allows you to carry it nice and far forward. Even though it's a big knife, you can carry this in the forward part of your pocket and not have to worry about it poking and prodding and still have room for another knife. So running on bearings, this thing is just great. Now, the other knife that I have that's a button lock that it's going up against is another great knife. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way and take a look at the CJRB Pyrite, which is another great large button lock folder that came out. This thing is absolutely amazing. Beautiful shape on this, just identical to the Pyrite, which is one of their best-selling models. It's done in a steel button lock. I imagine there's going to be a titanium one soon, or already is one. I haven't checked. It is double thumb stud with a brilliant button lock. It's done all steel, but there's a lot of weight reduction on this, which means it's not that heavy. You can see they did a great job with the weight reduction in this. A lot of material removed. Button lock is right there, easy to access. It's a very attractive knife in hand. It cuts really well. The handles are, while a good bit thinner than the Beg Letter, they are broad enough that you get a good feel on this. Now, I did not really like the original Pyrite. It's a good knife. It's a good enough knife. I just didn't find it to be as good as some other knives I had. When I got this, I was like, there we go. If I get a knife and I like one version of it, like if there's a medium size or if it's a regular size and then a small and a large, if I find one I like, I'm probably not going to like the others. This absolutely is the standout of the Pyrites to me. AR-RPM 9 steel on this blade is great, takes a nice edge, responds better than any steel I've seen in a very long time to a strop. And I mean a simple strop. You can do it on just newspaper wrapped around a wooden block. The action on it is great. It's got really good detent for a button lock. The fact that as well is a button lock means it as well is ambidextrous, and you have a reversible pocket clip. And the fact that it's all steel is great. I will tell you that the AR-RPM 9 steel on this has held up to some extreme conditions. Every Sunday when I go to the beach, the ocean with my daughter, this is in the pocket of my swimming trunks, it has spent up to 7 hours in salt water and I have not seen a speck of rust on this. Nice thin edge profile on this, comes down nice and thin from this broad blade, comes down, transitions nicely, and AR-RPM 9 at 600 grit has got about one of the best, most aggressive toothy edges you want to come across. This thing is an amazing knife. I'm so glad they released this one. Now, I will say this one's heavier than a lot of the other knives that I typically would carry, but I don't mind because it's so good. Even though it does have a lot of weight reduction in it, it is heavy. But once again, big, deep carry pocket clip on this that allows you to get it down in the pocket nice and deep, carry it forward and have another knife in your pocket. So that is that one. Now we're going to pull the other one out. We're going to look at them side by side and I'm going to tell you which one I think wins. But if you buy either one of these knives, you're winning. So like I said, either one of these knives is an awesome, awesome choice. There's not a big laundry list of differences between the two, but I'll tell you a couple things that I find about these knives that makes one better than the other. This one has got a couple issues that make this one the winner, and I'll tell you what they are. First of all, I like the option of having multiple deployment methods. The only thing that this is missing on this really is a flipper for deployment as a flipper. None of the Pyrites have it, but it would be a good addition. Next thing is this one's a little bit heavier than this one, and it's got a lot more weight to it than this one does. And then the final couple things, the buttons on these are definitely different. This one has got a button that stands up a lot prouder in the open position than this one really does. And it's not so much it's prouder, but this one is rounded over and it doesn't feel as abrupt and it doesn't feel like you're catching on it. And then the final thing, this knife, when it came to me, slams into the backspacer if you allow into the standoff, if you allow it to slam shut. So while this is an amazing knife, it's great. I love it. I've gotten past that point. I fixed some of the issues with this knife. I still think that this is the winner. I think this would be my pick. If I had to pick between the two, I think the Beg Letter XL is just a better overall knife. And I think that I find the way it looks just a little bit more attractive. So there you go. Which one of my two favorite big button locks win? The Beg Letter XL. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts. I'll send you back out about your day.
Guys, you see, the overall winner was on my Beg Letter XL, but the fact is that doesn't take away a lot from the CJRB Pyrite, because the fact is it's a very, very close competition on these two. I absolutely love that knife. This just has a couple little things going for it that just put it over the top. A lot of it is an aesthetic thing and just some of the feel in hand. I love my Carta, and I think that has a lot to do with it. So with that being said, guys, that's it on this one. This was fun. I just wanted to do it for myself because, I never really hadn't thought about it, like which one would win. So I thought I would sit down and figure that out. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. But tell me why I can't change that content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, always tell you there is a link for Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Those are my two channel sponsors down below. Those links have got a discount built into them. You don't have to use a code. I have a coupon code that will save you 5% at Rosecraft Blades and Farron Forge Knife Works, and that coupon code is Crazy Sharp, all one word. And other ways you can support the channel financially, I've got an Amazon store down below. Take it, pin it to your browser, use it for any Amazon shopping you do, from shampoo to sweatpants. It doesn't matter. I still get a little bit of it, and it doesn't cost you anything. And I've got a membership down below that has a lot of benefits. Everyone has access to my private Discord. Everyone gets early access to videos the second I post them up. Everyone gets exclusive content that I put up. Baseline and Premium guys are entered into giveaways that I do separate of the stuff that I do on YouTube. And the Premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube behind that paywall. That's it on this one, guys. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.